busy in the Eastern Cape, and once again we start our week off at Fairview Racecourse, where there will be 8 carded races to look forward to on the Poly surface. First race due off at 25-1. It is a maiden juvenile plate over 1200 meters. I do think it looks like a race between 2 horses here, and I have elected to go for number 3 First Rain to beat number 6 Zack Pack Assassin, but I really do feel that both are very lively contenders. I will round up with number 5 VV Power. Starting with the first selection being First Rain, I do think that he showed good improvement last time out when coming back after the gelding, and the yard really felt he needed it. They were spot on. He showed good improvement, and I think there could be even more to come with him, with a change of headgear, trying both blinkers and a tongue tie for the first time. So First Rain, I do think, can show a lot more. In saying that, number 6 Zack Pack Assassin is really knocking hard at the door for the win, and last time out in second touched off by only 0.1 of a length behind the form horse that day, A Grade Marmalade. He's doing everything except finding the winner's box, and from a neat draw of 2 in a small field, he should make a bold bid. Number 5, Vivi Power, has got only the 1 run under the belt, and though he didn't feature that day, he was doing his best work late, and he really did look like he needed the experience of that run. So expect improvement from him. He should be in the shake-up. Race number 2 is juvenile plate for the fillies over 1200, and here my numbers are 7, 2 and 3. I would say that number 7 Seaver's Point stands out quite significantly in this race. It's A small field, and B, the huge improvement she showed from first run to second. Even slight improvement from here on in this field should really make her hard to beat. So the Master of My Fate filly does stand out for me here. As far as the minor placings are concerned, the stable coupling from the graveyard of number 2 Derecho and 3 Fiorenza are horses that should be right behind her. Derecho has had the 5 starts to date, and while she hasn't really threatened winners, she's not disgraced herself either, and I think as in this type of field she should run into the money. Likewise can describe her stable companion number 3 Fiorenza, who's got plenty of scope for improvement, having had only 2 starts, and both of them have been fair. Race 3 is a maiden plate staying over the 1200 meter trip. 4, 3 and 1 are my numbers for the first 3 selections, and again I think that 2 horses stand out here. My first choice, Sovereign Supreme and Life on Mars. Now, Sovereign Supreme, last time out, he went to the front, perhaps did a little bit much. He was run down by his stable companion, Africa's Rock. Africa's Rock going on to win his post-maiden in fine style and taking on Stellar Company. I think that even though he was beaten 6.5 lengths, it was still a decent run, and having only his 4th start, there'll be more to look forward to from him. So I do think he can really make his presence felt in the run to the line. In saying that, number 3 Life on Mars relocated from the Cape with useful form, and he just found one better in the way of the favourite Bling King on local debut, not disgraced in second, also pretty well beaten by an easy winner, but nevertheless best of the rest. He'll be making his Poly debut, but he's a pacey sort. He should take well to the Poly, and I do think that the race will come down between these 2 individuals. Next up will be number 1 Own Your Fate. He's been a bit of an in and out performer locally, but in this type of field he should be able to do enough to place. Race 4 is another maiden event on the card, 1300 meters. It's a fillies and mares maiden plate. And although the field looks very competitive, there really is some nice maiden form here. One horse does stand out, and that would be number 1 Joe Loves, who will be making her local debut. I am going to tip her to beat number 3 Absolutely Fab and number 2 Elusive Zoe. Now, Joe Loves will be debuting on the Poly. She's not familiar with the surface, but she relocates with outstanding Cape form, and being by Duke of Marmalade, you have to feel that she's going to love trying the Poly. I do think that she could have too many guns here, so I will be tipping her to win. Number 3 Absolutely Fab, without a doubt, is working her way back to best, and her recent starts have just seen her get closer and closer to the winner. Last time out, going down in third, only 0.15 of a length off of Kiara. She's finding form again and must be respected. Number 2, Elusive Zoe, has had the 2 starts in the Eastern Cape so far. They've both been on Poly, and they've both been good efforts, rounding up in 4th and 5th respectively. She should also be in the shake-up. Moving on to race 5, this is the Fillies and Mares 91 divided handicap over 1300. Also a standout field with some lovely form, and it's going to be very competitive. I'm going to lead with number 2 Bloom, who comes back from a holiday. I'm tipping her to beat the likes of number 8 Kiss of Life, and then including number 6 Dive Captain. Now, Bloom, the main concern about her will be the fact that she is going to be back on course after a rest, but the yard aren't expecting her to need the run, which is good to note. She has got standout poly form where she has really gone from strength to strength, and in 5 starts on the surface she has won on 2 occasions and placed second in the other 3. Well suited to course and distance, she's on the up, and she should really be in with a decent chance of victory here. In saying that, there are a few with decent form, and a horse like number 8 Kiss of Life has got to be respected. I think she ran a very good race last time out. Coming off a break, the yard had expected her to need it. She also unfortunately pulled up with post-race distress and still managed to run a decent 4th that day behind Encryption. She comes in here drawn best of all and very competitively weighted, 54.5, a lovely galloping weight. She's actually beaten Bloom before over track and trip, getting the same amount of weight that she gets today. So don't be too quick to write off Kiss of Life. Another horse I do feel can get a look in here is number 6 Dive Captain. She was well accounted for by her stable companion last time out, Wolfgang, but it was still a decent run back in 3rd considering how easily he romped home. And on that run she does hold a horse with a chance like Blue Duchess. So yes, number 6 Dive Captain should be in the money. Fillies and Mares 76 divided handicap, again over the 1300 metre trip, is next up in race 6. 1, 9 and 5 is how I will be going. Number 1 Shine a Light races off her win last time out, which was her 3rd career victory, and she's really got form that's been steady, capable and reliable in her 10 starts to date, winning on 3 occasions and placing on 5. Though stats would lead you to believe she hasn't really shone on Polly, you've got to look at the fact that the majority of those runs have been over 1,000, and that's just too sharp for her. She really just seems to find a little bit more life from the 1,200 and upwards. So yes, Shine a Light, very competitive field. I do think that even though she is top weight here, she can hold them at bay, and she does have a winning shout. Number 9 is Noble Princess. I think best disregard that last. She fluffed the start. She was not well behaved in the gates at all, and it cost her. If you look to her previous form, which saw her running 2nd to Nubel and 3rd to Alaskan Fate, a repeat of those efforts is going to put her right there, and the yard are expecting a good run. I then include the likes of number 5, and that is Cherry Pop. And Cherry Pop runs out the Sharon Cotton yard. She is just running in such steady form at the moment, and she's also one of those that runs off the Nubel form. Always there and thereabouts. She's very much at home over track and trip, especially a Poly lover, and should be in the fray again. Over the 1200 metre trip, race 7 will be a merit rated 80 handicap, and fair enough to say that 2 horses really catch the eye in this race. Number 5 Vase Boy and number 7 Alpha Papa. That is the order in which I will tip them. I then include the likes of number 2 Dolphin. Vase Boy has been a steady campaigner in the Eastern Cape, and he notched up his 2nd and 3rd wins in quick succession here when beating Hidden Influence and For Luck's Sake, and since then he's really held good solid form since. He's taken to the Poly very well, track and trip very well suited, and he's running in fine style, having met some fair sorts in his recent runs. Horses like Aqua Delta, Earth Hour and Regimental definitely stand out here, and I do think that Vase Boy is going to be a big campaigner. On his local debut run last time out, number 7 Alpha Papa is not to be discounted though. He also met a Vase Boy behind Regimental, and although on paper it is suggested that he is held by Vase Boy, I think that he could perhaps have needed that run, and that it is a run he can build on. I don't think he's without chance at being able to swing that form, and don't overlook the fact that he did find support in the betting that day. Bit of a roughie for me would be number 2 Dolphin. He will have his first run here for the Jacques Strydom yard, but if you go back in his form over course and distance, he has met and beaten much stronger than what he takes on here. So although his last 2 runs haven't been his best, I do think racing fresh off a break and apparently showing some really good work back home, Dolphin could really surprise for trifectas and quartets. Last of the day is race 8, and they'll race over the mile trip here in a merit rated 68 handicap. Always an open contest. This one is no different. I will be leading with number 11, Mighty Smart from the Duncan Mackenzie yard, and then number 4, Homer Fidget, and 10, All in Line, although there are cases to be made for a few others as well. I thought a lot of Mighty Smart's debut run last time out in the Eastern Cape went on grass over 1400, which was short for him. He did a fantastic job to round up in third behind Waldorf Astoria. Duncan says he's working well. He is expecting as good a performance on Poly as Mighty Smart put out on grass last time out, and he does feel that he's got a chance and will be knocking here. So I think Mighty Smart could get it right. Not much between my second and third horses, Homer Fidget and All in Line, on the form behind Full's Power last time out. I will say Homer Fidget was very unlucky that day to be pipped by only 0.1 of a length, and we found All in Line a bit further back, 0.85. So really nothing between the two, and I do think they'll be knocking hard and be contenders once again here. The PA for the day will get underway at 1:10 in race 2, maiden juvenile plate for the fillies over 1200 meters. And in general, my PA really has an easy beginning through the first couple of legs, and I'm hoping it is as simple as it looks on paper. My first leg will definitely be a banker. I think that number 7, Seaver's Point, is standout in this field, and she will be very hard to beat. On to leg 2, another banker for the PA in the way of number 4, Sovereign Supreme. I do make this a 2-horse race between the horses Sovereign Supreme and Life on Mars. And if Sovereign Supreme were to miss the first 3, I think that would be a bit of an upset. So I'm happy with him as a banker there for the PA. Moving on to leg 3 of the PA, and again another banker, this in the way of number 1, Joe Loves. She races off solid Cape form and has the breeding to really enjoy the Poly, as well as the natural pace that she shows in her races. And although she does bump a competitive maiden field, I do think she can come out on top. I then go wider in race 5 as racing for me opens up a little bit. It is a fillies and mares 91 divided handicap, and there really is some smart form in this lineup. There are a couple of the fair sex here with chances, and all of 1, 2, 6 and 8 will be inclusions. Blue Duchess, who is much better than her last run may suggest. Bloom, who is proven on the surface and not expected to need the run after the layoff. Number 6, Dive Captain, who's moving along in the right direction. And number 8, Kiss of Life, who is another useful sort on the Poly in this field. Race 6, also a race that I go wider in the PA, 1, 5, 8 and 9. I do think that Shine a Light stands out, but I feel that if she, for any reason, happens to fluff her lines, the race opens right up, and then you really need to cover. Number 5, Cherry Pop, in steady form, is a horse that has to be included, as well as numbers 8, Just Adore Her, who relocates with useful KZN form, and number 9, Noble Princess, who is better than her last run. Race 7, and this is the penultimate leg of the pick 6, again a race where it appears as if 2 horses do stand out, so they will be my 2 entries in the PA, number 5, Vase Boy, and number 7, Alpha Papa. And then of course our always competitive last of the day, and again here I go wide in the PA, and all of numbers 2, Zigzag, 4, Homer Fidget, 10, All in Line, and 11, Mighty Smart will be inclusions for the last leg. Going back now to race 3 to start off the pick 6. Here my PA banker was number 4, Sovereign Supreme. As I suggested, I do think it is a 2-horse race, so for the pick 6 I will add in number 3, Life on Mars, who I do think is his main danger. I will stick with the banker, the PA banker of number 1, Joe Loves, for the pick 6 as well, so she is both a PA and a pick 6 banker. Next leg of the pick 6 includes the PA numbers 1, 2, 6 and 8, and gets the additions of number 4, Twin Falls, who has upset potential if regaining form, and a horse like number 7, Sheer Talent, who makes her local debut off useful high-felt form and really could be anything in the lineup. Race 6, another open event, 1, 5, 8 and 9 from the PA go into the pick 6, and then I bolster with number 3, Perfect Display, 4, Beneficiary, 7, which is far out, post-maiden run, but the yard thinks she can be thereabouts, and number 11, In Full Bloom, who looks to be on the up again. Stick with my two horses are Vars Boy and Alpha Papa from the PA in leg 5 of the pick 6, and also add in my little upset chance here, Dolphin, horse number 2. I really do feel that there's no guarantee he will run well, but should he put his best foot forward, he does have the ability to set a cat amongst the pigeons. Race 8 and the 4 PEA horses go in, 2, 4, 10 and 11. I'll add in a couple others as well. Number 1, Falling For You, is frustratingly erratic, but my gosh, when he decides to run, he can definitely find the winner's box, so I won't be leaving him out here. Number 3, Pacific Duke, hard to know what to expect from him as he steps up in class, having his first run out of the maidens, but he did win well, and there could be more to come. I will also include the likes of number 6, Bank Robber. I know his form on paper really doesn't grab the attention, but he is such an imposing individual. He's fallen in the merit ratings, and for me what's very interesting is the tongue tie comes off, and I do think this is a horse that could really just have a bit of value and a bit of upset potential here, so I'm going to include him. As far as the jackpot is concerned, it only differs from the pick 6 in the very first leg, where just to be safe I cover Joe Loves. So in the first leg of the jackpot, Joe Loves was a banker for the PA and the pick 6. I'm going to cover her here and add in number 2, Elusive Zoe, 3, Absolutely Fab, and number 5, Pearl Dancer. It is just a suggestion because Joe Love's form really does stand out, but if she does miss, there's a lot of competitive form to be taken account of. Regarding the second, third and fourth legs of the jackpot, it stays along the same theme as the pick 6. As far as my value and best bets are concerned, my best bet will be early in the day in race 2 with number 7, Seaver's Point. In a small field, her form does stand out and she looks hard to oppose. My value will be in the last of the afternoon, always a super competitive event, and it will be number 11, Mighty Smart. Looking forward to racing on Monday and enjoying our busy period here in the Eastern Cape.